Hi, everyone. I'm here with Donald. I just seen one of his live streams pertaining to the animal rescue over here in Phelps, and it's an honor to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I just had some questions because I really appreciate what you're doing over here. First and foremost, like, how did you end up starting this animal rescue?
Well, I never intended to have this many dogs. I started the one dog down there. She was dumped off out here the first month I moved here. She was pregnant, so I ended up with her puppies. Then I started volunteering at the animal shelter, and they had an emaciated mastiff come in, and I said I'll take it home and get it back up to health. So I did that, got it back up to health, and got it adopted out to family in Georgia. And that's really what started. I took a couple of pregnant mothers because they don't, they didn't know what to do with them at the time because they don't have the facilities to take care of them.
Right.
I brought them home, raised them up, took them back. But then it just started. People started bringing them to me, or they were on these. They would dump them out here on the roads, or they'd be up here at a mine cut, up the mountain, and so I started taking them in. Well, that director at that time, she was real good at fitting these dogs in. Every one of these dogs came off these roads.
Right.
And she was real good about fitting them in. Well, then for some reason, Ray Jones got a bug up his ass and told them not to take any more dogs from me. It wasn't my job to rescue dogs in this county. They had people to do it. Well, so of course the dogs kept coming, but the county wouldn't take them from me. So
I noticed that the dogs were at fish trap,
yeah,
like damn, running around all over the place. And you told me that
one out, or the one down at the other end, that's a fish trap lake dog,
right.
And that was about 2 years ago, and it's still here.
Right.
The county was telling everybody online that they were going to go get them. They get them before the snow was flying. Well, they begged me to get them, and I went and got the two fish trap lake dogs. One just went to rescue after all this time. I've got the pounding mill dogs that were up there at the cemetery about a year. They said they couldn't catch them and everything. I had a friend go up there with one of my traps. She caught them in an hour. And so they're still here.
Right.
The county knows all these dogs came off the road, but under Kentucky law, I've had them for 5 days. They're my dogs. So they don't want to take them because they say they're personal dogs. These are not my personal dogs. There's 8 of these puppies total on the property. Those came from Paw Paw Mountain up here. And I told the rest of the shelter, come and get the dogs while they're still little.
Yeah.
Well, now they're bigger than their mother.
Right.
So now they're dogs. And people don't want to adopt dogs.
It's easier to adopt
and,
puppies.
Ray Jones has done everything. At least I've been told it was in Ray's name. Ray says you can't do this. I tried to adopt a dog because I'm not a 501c. So I tried to adopt a dog for a lady, and I adopted it, paid for it, had the receipt. When I went to pick the dog up, I couldn't have it because they said that I had too many dogs. And so they made me take my money back. And there's a girl that works at the animal shelter. Her name is Chrissy Adams. At the time, I've had some parvo puppies. When people start dropping dogs off, you're going to get parvo. Mm-hmm. Well, they tried to use that excuse for that adopted dog that, I had parvo on my property. Anybody that has multiple dogs has had parvo on their property. Yeah. The animal shelter right now is in quarantine for parvo. They are about every 2 weeks. They have to shut down because of parvo.
Right.
So why is it I have parvo on the property? I've had dogs. Yes, it's going to happen. People dump dogs off on you. You don't know what's wrong with those dogs. You don't know from 10 to 14 days, what's wrong with them. So, and then for some reason, the county said they couldn't take no more dogs from me. So they didn't take any dogs from me, so they just kept accumulating. I've had as high as 136 dogs at one time.
That has to be very expensive.
And if the county would claim these dogs, they could feed them because they get food for free.
Right.
From Hill Science Diet. They could call that I'm fostering these dogs and they could get free food. No, I've got to beg the community to help me feed these dogs. and the community has been good with helping. But why should the community have to do the county's job? Why should I have to do the county's job? Really, the way they said, Ray Jones said at the beginning, it wasn't my job to do this. And why did he let more dogs getting dumped out here? Yeah, he doesn't care about these dogs.
No. And how do you feel about the recent change?
Hey, sorry.
It's okay. How do you feel about the recent change? Ray Jones has now implemented a policy where you have to pay money to drop off dogs at the animal shelter.
They haven't started that. They voted on it.
They voted on it.
And Freddie Lewis was the first commissioner that voted for it. Mm-hmm. The other two commissioners deferred.
This way,
that way they could be brought back up. Yeah. And of course, nobody knew this was coming up, so it was kind of like getting snuck in there.
Right.
Yeah. And if nobody, I mean, why would you charge the people $300 to bring a dog in? They're probably bringing it in because they can't afford it anyway.
Exactly.
It's
all about making more money for the county.
Yeah. I mean, the way they spend money at that shelter, hey, finally fixed their 2 dog yards, which I've got pictures where they had dog leashes holding the birds on. Well, they eventually got to where they couldn't let dogs out there because they'd escape.
The fence, the dog park play place that I seen had 2.5 tall plastic fence that
that's gone. They've rebuilt all that.
Right.
So they fixed the 2 dog lots that were connected to the building, play yards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they built another enormous one. Why did they need it? Why didn't they use that money to build temporary kennels?
Right.
And that's the kind of stuff that amazes me. Spend all that money to build a play yard when they already have 2 play yards. They built a third one, which was 3 times the size of the 2. What do they need it for? They needed to put in more kennels. Yeah. I have at times, most times this year, had more dogs than the county has. And they've got 5 or 6 employees.
Yes.
I have more dogs in a situation that's harder to clean because this is not designed to clean. Mm-hmm. Pike County is. And I've got more dogs than they've got by myself. So, people want to complain that I'm not picking up the poop fast enough. It's one person and as high as 130 dogs. Right now, I think there's around 70 dogs.
I mean, I'm visiting and their kennels seem to be pretty clean to me.
Yeah. This is wet week.
Yeah.
When it's a wet week, it gets messier.
Right. You look like Gracie. Oh, what a good boy. What a good boy. Look at you, just how sweet. Look at you, just how sweet. Yeah. Right here, that's a good picture. Hi guys. Hi. Hello there. Hi guys. Hello. Hi. thinks he's a dog.
Yeah.
You bark too, and then how much money is it to feed all of these animals?
Well, I feed about 150 pounds of dog food a day. So that's, I think I added up once at $30 a bag. I think that's around $2,500 a month. About 4,400 pounds. I did it once. I don't remember, but it's a lot, you know, and you know,
And this is your full-time job.
this is all I can do. I can't go to weddings, funerals. I can't see, I've never met my one grandson. The other one he's now, I think, getting ready to be 6. I've seen him when he was in diapers before he was a year old. I can't go there because who's going to take take care of this many dogs? And they have to know. People don't realize, they say, oh, I can babysit the dogs. No, you got to know which ones are mean. I've got ones in the house that are really mean.
Right.
And those.
How many dogs do you have total again? I know there's like 20.
Probably around, because I have 2 mothers that just had puppies. So the one mother had 11 puppies. The other one had 6 puppies. So I probably have over 70 now. And people don't realize you don't get any sleep because if she's my biggest barker. She starts barking, they all bark.
Right.
And I go to bed about 3 a.m. in the morning, get back up in the morning to start it all over again. And I have people that say, why is there dog poop around? Every dog poops once or twice a day.
Right.
When you've got 100 dogs doing it, you're going to have poop around. Nothing you can do about it. But, and if I beg the county to take these 8 puppies, there's others in other kennels, because they're going to be feral, because I don't have time to play with these dogs. I just don't. And all the do-gooders rescues want to complain, but they only want to come and get the poodles and the chihuahuas. If I had 100 chihuahuas, they wouldn't be here. But the brown yard dogs, nobody wants. And the county doesn't want them.
Right.
The county just assumes it's not their problem because I've got them. There was a time when I used to go pick them up here for the county. They'd say, you're going home tonight, can you go by this house and get that dog and bring it in tomorrow? And I would. The last director before this, the guy that's running it now, she would say, how many strays you got? I said, oh, I got 4 or 5. She says, bring me 2 tomorrow and bring me the other 3 on Friday. And the system worked. I only had to have about 4 or 5 kennels. Now they just keep accumulating, because unless a dog is half dead, because I'll raise hell if a dog's dying and the county won't take it. Because I used to take them in, and then the county said, well, it's not our problem. Then I'd have to beg the dog loving community to help me with the vet bills. The county can do it. I had to put some vicious dogs to sleep. I asked the county, would they do it? No, they wouldn't do that. Even though they knew they came off the roads. So I had to pay to put them to sleep, because one of them was untouchable. You couldn't touch them. You think the county would have done that? No, they didn't, because they're trying to be a no-kill shelter.
Right.
So they don't want to mess with their numbers.
Right.
And they said, oh, we can't put those to sleep for you, because that's going to, I'm thinking, just help out. These are dogs that you would have had to go get and put to sleep when you realized that you couldn't touch it. I've got one in there now, General. He's old. He came from up here. The 2 dogs were, I'd say, probably 12 or 13 years old. He's still alive. The other one passed away of old age. This one here, he's in decrepit condition, but he still eats and he's happy. He comes outside, getting a little senile. He can't hear.
Right.
But why is it my responsibility to pay to put him to sleep?
Exactly.
That's
a lot.
The county has the license, has the medicine. They know where it came from as a stray. So, but no, make the old man do it.
The county has definitely been neglecting the community and a lot of their obligations. It's very, very well known.
And I will say that, my neighbors and my community, they have been great to these dogs. But why should they have to do it? It's the county's problem.
Right.
And, they say, they'll say, oh, we're spaying and neuter everything. Well, why don't you take these? Because eventually these dogs are not going to be here. They used to have a operating room in the shelter. They dismantled it. Now they send everything out to be done, and they're paying almost as much as it costs to get for anybody else. But it's contract work, so they're doing 30 dogs a week. This vet is, you know, so somebody's getting rich off of that. I don't know.
Seems like it's always about money.
This county, the county official, it's about money. Why would anybody put a $300 fine or fee on bringing a dog in? I mean, really? Nobody will bring their dog in, then they'll all be dumped off. Maybe that's what they were thinking. Maybe if they put a high fee, nobody will call them.
But it sounded like to me.
Because people hang up with them and call me. The shelter wouldn't take the dog. And for a long time, I don't know what you say, compassionate. I'd take them all. I had dogs out here running in this yard, just like those there. Those are in there because I have no kennels for them.
Right.
But they all get along, so they're in that yard. What do you do with the dogs? The county can figure it out. They've got empty school buildings. Line up these kennels inside the building if you have to. But out of sight, out of mind. Tell me that county doesn't get grant money. Tell me they don't get big donations from companies. Where does it all go?
If there was a forensic audit, I'm sure a lot of people would be in trouble. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I've dug into a lot of the grants and money and NGOs that are in this area. People would be blown away at how much money has been absolutely squandered.
I assume, big companies, I assume, are giving them grants or donations.
Mm-hmm.
And, things aren't getting repaired. I don't know why I assume the funny thing is the big play yard they built, well, this was an election year. So they're going to act like, and they made a post about it, grand old thing. It's something they built they didn't need.
Right.
They need these temporary kennels to house dogs. That's what they should have done. Lined them up, just like I've got lined up everywhere.
Yeah.
This property wasn't built to have these, but it's got them. I didn't used to have any kennels on this side of the property. And it ended up, I had to start putting them over here too.
And you also heard you mention about the horses that are.
Oh yeah, I have a horse that I rescued. It was in a bad condition on a trailer. Trailer's out there. The horse was falling through the holes in the floor. So I ended up getting the horse to get it off the trailer. I paid for the horse.
And these are the abandoned horses that.
No, this one isn't. This was somebody else's.
Okay. But this is the area where Ray Jones has neglected the wild horses.
Oh yeah, the horses come and stand in the parking lot and stare at the dogs. They come down off that mine road over there. Oh. They're everywhere. They're all up through here. And when you drive, I tell people think I'm joking when I say watch when you're driving, don't hit a horse.
Right.
But yeah, the horses, and I think I've seen at least 5 horses killed since I've been here, 4 or 5.
Oh, I've seen some of the photos, and it's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, and
the bad condition that they're in.
It's animal control. Why can't animal control round these up? And even if they have to put them in quarantine somewhere until they decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
But they're starving. People think that on top of these mountains there's grass. It's reclaimed land.
Mm-hmm.
It's you go up there and nothing's ate down because they don't want to eat that stuff.
Right.
So they come down to these roads and eat the long grass that's in the ditches. Or when the salt trucks come by, they come out because of the salt. They lick the roads because animals need salt.
Yeah.
And so I've had people call me an outsider. If I didn't like it, why don't I go back to where I'm from? I'm from here.
I've heard that same thing.
Yeah, I'm from here.
My family was born and raised here.
My great, I don't know how many greats, grandfather was in the Revolutionary War and settled in Kentucky to help found this state. So anybody says I'm not from here, my family is all buried from Tazewell, Virginia to Ashland. I'm working for them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because their county officials aren't doing it. Mm-hmm. So if I'm an outsider, the outsider's helping this community every single day.
More so than the people that are supposed to be in charge.
Yeah.
That's what I see all
if
day.
If they wanted to, they could snap their fingers and get a solution to this dog problem.
Oh yeah.
But they try to act like it's so, you know what, it's going to cost them money, is why. It will cost them money.
But they have no problem handing money hand over fist to their Ray Jones is a lot of people's lawyer, and during those court meetings, he'll hand money over to fist over to his clients for equipment, for this, for that. So
Oh God, yeah, the county will spend 300,000 or spend $1 million today on trucks.
Yep.
Which of course, the county needs trucks.
Yes.
But they need a lot of other things too.
Mm-hmm. It's only certain people that get what they ask for, and then the rest of the county is just left in the dark.
I volunteered at that animal shelter for a year and a half, and I was there from opening to close every day. In that year and a half, I never saw Ray Jones come in that building. I never saw a commissioner come in that building. You think the commissioners would want to walk around and look and see the shelter that the county owns and how it's being run? No. Now, I've heard from people saying, oh, well, Ray would say that he's got people in charge to relay everything to him. If I was running a division of a county, I would still want to go look at it myself and see if everybody's doing their job.
Ray's not doing his job, if you ask me, and that's why he's not running for re-election.
Yeah, every meeting I watch, I get amazed at how in some time in that meeting, he will be patting himself on the back.
Always.
About how his administration, I don't know how he thought this county was running for the 200 years before him, because he thinks he
lies
the
a
savior.
lot.
Yeah,
he lies a lot, and he'll say, "Oh, I brought all of these jobs that never came to fruition."
This county has declined in population every year.
Yes.
So what good is he doing for the county? And even like when people, I had somebody call me an outsider when I first moved here. I said to that person, I says, you think you'd be happy somebody's coming in here and buying this property instead of it just sitting vacant? Other communities will say, come on, move here.
Right.
Why isn't Ray Jones giving companies free leases on land for 20 years to get them to build it?
Every time he comes up with a plan like that, usually it falls through, and then other people get sued, and it's a mess. Just like with the battery factory that was supposed to come to fruition, but there's a lot that's promised, and there's the people who are behind Ray Jones. From my experience, our mayor put the town $500,000 in debt. There's $90,000 in the mayor's pocket.
You mean Pikeville?
I mean Elkhorn City.
Oh, Elkhorn City.
Yep. And they didn't file any charges on him. He just got away with it. And people just, it's like it was forgotten about. Who cares if they put the town over 500,000 in debt, 90,000 in the mayor's pocket? If that would have been anyone else, they'd be in jail.
Yeah.
But there's just a certain group of people.
And when things do go wrong, it's so quickly brushed under the rug.
Oh yes.
You just never hear about it because somebody must be controlling the newspapers. Nothing gets publicized. Just like these murders up here. You hear somebody gets murdered. I have gone when I've heard that and tried to find it in the newspaper. Not a thing in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to read the newspaper all the time. Mm-hmm. Things usually get in the newspaper.
Right.
Not here.
No.
And you never hear anything. You'll say, did that get solved? Oh, no, that didn't get solved.
Yeah.
There's been, that I know of, 4 or 5 people feeling dead. Not one of them has been solved.
I know people who
Hey.
Yeah, to the way Melissa Wolfer died.
Yeah, she's my neighbor just down the road.
And they know who did it. They just refuse to investigate anything at all. It's so strange. It just seems like the police have been told to stand down or something. They keep hiring more police officers, but
yeah, just like that, like Melissa. I've heard people say they know who did it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for having us at your sanctuary. It was so nice to meet you, and I hope that people see this video and want to donate and contribute to what Donald is doing, because he is doing the county a huge service by taking in all of these dogs. It is a lot of work, and I hope that this video reaches you well. Um, Once again, like, I'm just absolutely astounded at all of the hard work that you've put in and all of the dogs that you rescued.
And if anybody wants to adopt a dog, let me know.
Yeah, like I know I've donated, and not only that, but we'll give a shout out. I don't know if he wanted the exposure or not, but Michael Ferris, who is running for Mitch McConnell's seat, actually gave a large donation. So shout out to him. And we just want to say thank you all. And let's see if we can't get Donald the help that he needs to take care of these abandoned dogs.
Because without the community's help, I couldn't do this. You know, these dogs, I mean, you wouldn't believe how many times I worry about how am I going to feed these dogs. You know, if any, it's like a castle of cards. If anything could knock over that castle, you know, but no help from the county. What can I do? I gotta keep begging. You know.